We're gonna go on a trip down to memory lane. That's right, the memories.
Welcome, the Gamer Man's Lounge. Awaken to play.
Well, before Micro Center managed to pretty much come back from the grave, there was Fry's Electronics that sticked around for quite a long time. And Fry's Electronics was a huge retailer that is, you can say, toe-to-toe to Micro Center. But when Micro Center was gone, before their resurrection, Fry's Electronics was there. It was that big last bastion. And this retailer chain was none other than it's like the Walmart or the Toys R Us for tech enthusiasts. It's crazy. Like, you would have a huge video game section, a huge PC and PC gaming section. You would have a PC building service. You will have a huge television selection. You have a huge projector selection. Like, you have a huge electronic appliance selection. It was crazy. It was insane from left and right. It was insane. I will say that. But I was astounded when it came to Fry's Electronics when I first visited the place. And Fry's Electronics was always there to save my butt. As a matter of fact, it had a surprising selection for animes, especially the spicier ones, the NSFW ones. Hell, Queensblade Rebellion, I was able to find that on Blu-ray thanks to Fry's Electronics. And when it came to the PlayStation 2 era and the PlayStation 3 era and the PlayStation 4 era, it was amazing that Fry's Electronics would always be there to save your ass. It was a huge, big deal. And to see Fry's Electronics go out in the year 2021... man, it was devastating. It's a huge blow to the tech scene. We'll definitely go with that. But, however, I had some very fond memories of the Fry's Electronics that I have visited. And, as a matter of fact, I had store receipts, from Fry's Electronics before they went out. Before I get into details, now, the ink on those receipts are beginning to fade, or already begun to fade, by the way. However, because the receipts would contain personal information from left and right, I'm not going to show into the documents. I'm going to read off my documents, and I'm basically going to go ahead and go through what I remembered from my experiences on Fry's Electronics. Now, I had 2 computers built for me when it came to Fry's Electronics PC building service, and I was able to use that, plus warranty stuff and whatever. With that totally said, Fry's Electronics was just there to save my ass, and this was amazing. So with that totally said, let's get right on going, and yeah. Okay, so here I go. Now I'm going to go through. I'm going to try to do it on order, but it's probably going to be a loose order considering the case. Definitely going to be the case. So with that totally said, yeah. Okay, here we go. And... alright. Okay, got the loose order warning out there, so let's go ahead and get right on going. Now, yep, definitely my first build that I had built for me by Fry's Electronics. So it would be an Asus motherboard, and it would be an Intel Z77 chipset. 2-year warranty, okay. Intel Core i5 3570 boxed. I was about to burp before I don't know why I stopped myself there. Gamer Man's Lounge is known for quality burps. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to start over from the top. So yeah, Asus motherboard, Intel chipset, Intel Core i5 3570 with Windows 7. Okay. Also, 16 gigs of RAM. So, GeForce GTX 660 Ti. So, that was before I decided to hop on the GTX 770. That was later. I'll get to that later. And, yeah. Okay, yeah, I ended up getting a 1 terabyte hard drive that was too small and it needed a bracket. And yes. Oh, yes, my case. A RaidMax 850 watt gold power supply unit. It was longer lasting, to be honest with you. I never had to replace the power supply, which is great. Good job, RaidMax. I'll definitely go with that. So, with that totally said, now, EnterMax had a wireless keyboard and a wireless mouse. It was a keyboard and mouse combo that was both wireless. Didn't go well. And the problem here is that when you have wireless lag, that becomes a pain in the ass. It is what it is. So, yes. I ended up getting a blue disc writer so I can watch Blu-ray movies on my computer. And it would be the service was $75. Now, the Silent X EPZ, I don't know what that is, probably was a... Yeah, yep. It was the CPU fan. I had to replace that. I guess, fast forward to 2017 was when I had to replace that CPU fan. It is what it is, man. And with that totally said, so... Now, my EnterMax power supply, what was it? What was it again? 850 watt gold. Nice job, RaidMax. Okay. Silent X, Asus. Oh, yeah, here we go. There's my computer case. It was an EnterMax Ostrog BW case. It had USB 2s. I made that mistake. And I think I did not plug in the USB 3 port, and I did a terrible job. And now the USB 3 port didn't work, so I ended up using the USB 3s in the back. Big oopsie. Big total oopsie. I will definitely say that be the case. Okay. So that totally said, yeah. It totaled together 15... It totaled together to be 1,500... No, just kidding. It totaled together to be 1404.45. Or you know what? How about I just use it in my own meanings of saying numbers? $1,404.45. So $1,404.45. We'll go with that. So yeah. And okay, there was some warranty stuff that I added in there, and I think that's good enough. I think if I could fast forward, I had to replace a CPU fan. Okay, service request order. Service request order. Oh. Hold on. I'll go through that later. Definitely something to do with Fry's Electronics. Okay, so here we go. This is the Asus motherboard that I had warranty for, if I remember right. Yeah. Oh yeah, and a Best Buy receipt where I tried to get a physical copy of Watch Dogs. Yeah, I ended up trying to get me Watch Dogs. Because I bought Watch Dogs from Best Buy, I pre-ordered it. And yeah, Watch Dogs, Windows pre-order, and picking up in store. That was the case. And yeah, things didn't really go so well. Because the game got delayed, I had no choice but to cancel the pre-order, or just have my pre-order canceled for me because of the constant delays, if I remember right. Alright. And I remember having, because let me find the receipt. Okay, now my monitor that I would end up go to, it lasted I think it lasted like more than a decade, more than half a decade. As a matter of fact, I still have that monitor. It would be an Asus VE22 8H LED 1080p monitor from Asus. A good time when Asus made reliable products instead of getting caught in some quality control situations from left or right. Alright, so it was $160, if I remember right. Ah, yes, this was later in the fall when I upgraded my graphics card to a 770, and then I decided to upgrade into a GTX 970, if I remember right. It was a 970 or 980. Whatever costed around $500, whatever had me spend around $500. Okay, so that totally said. Ah, yes, that was when I got my external USB hard drive. It was a 4 terabyte one. And I had a data plan. It totaled me up to $226.41, or $226.41. Whoa! I want to do that. Okay, I'm knocking everything down. Oh my goodness! Hold on. Apologies. All right. Yep, that was the Asus monitor. We'll go through that. Okay. Oh boy. This long receipt had something to do with... Oh yes, my Ryzen. Aha! The Ryzen build. When I hopped on the Ryzen bandwagon. So yeah, this was my second computer build from Fry's Electronics. My second computer build from Fry's Electronics. And my last before the store closed down. Now, it would be a Ryzen 7 2700. Yep. It was a very old one. 16 gig RAM. It was a Corsair Vengeance. Alright, there would be a 4 terabyte internal hard drive. Wow, a time where you can get away with having hard drive space of 4 terabyte. Now you need solid state drive storage. And the Corsair, ah yes, it would be a 750 watt ATX power supply. Downgrade, it would be a bronze certified, but hey, 750, not bad. And Zalman Z9 Neo. We'll talk about that. The Zalman Z9 Neo. That is the name of the computer case. I had to cut myself off real quick, figure out what I meant. Yeah, I already talked about my... Yeah, I already talked about my hard drive. Okay. And I already talked about my power supply unit, 750M. The Zalman Z9 Neo. $70. Not bad for a computer case. It had 2 USB 2s and 2 USB 3s, and it was crazy. It had a clear side panel, 3 case fans included. Unfortunately, the 2 top ones crapped out later. It was the way that it is, and I was trying to figure out a way to get those 2 replaced. Since Fry's, and this happened when Fry's Electronics went out of business. Yeah, it got interesting. Now, on to the MSI GTX. That was my graphics card. The MSI GTX 1070. Oh, wait. 1070 Ti Duke. My bad. I don't know why Fry's Electronics did that. Yes, it was a GTX 1070 Ti. And my newly built computer, my first built computer, included an RTX 3070. It was a huge improvement over the 1070 Ti. Because you have to consider the 20 series was a train wreck, and then the 30 series, the RTX 30 series, made improvements, and I was surprised when it surpassed my 1070 Ti upon research. What a twist. So yeah. Now my cooler, the Enermax T40F-R, it would be the computer cooler. And yes, Windows 10. It was a premium build, $80. 15. Okay. I ended up still including a Blu-ray drive. Did I? No, yeah, I did. I did. No, I didn't get a Blu-ray drive. It would be a DVD writer drive. A DVD drive. My bad. The Blu-ray drive was the previous one. I mean, I could get a Blu-ray player anyway, so with that totally said. Okay, so... Ah, yes, and now my motherboard. The Gigabyte X470 Ultra Gaming, AMD 2nd Gen AM4, ultra fast PCIe Gen 3, two-way crossfire. It was great. What a great time. And that totally said, the total was a record breaker. $1,978.77, or shall we say, almost $2,000 at the end of the day. It was when I had to tell myself to go all out. I had to go all out. It is the way that it was. So, yeah. And I think that about sums up my memories with Fry's Electronics. As a person who has lived and witnessed a situation that was going on with Fry's Electronics, especially leading up to the 2021 closure, I am obligated to tell you that when I was getting my gaming computer, the second one, which would be the 1070 Ti MSI Ryzen 7 build, okay, Fry's Electronics ended up becoming more and more of a ghost town. This was 2018, especially late 2018. So this was going to be such the case when it came to Fry's Electronics. There was some signs that Fry's Electronics was becoming the ghost town. So I did witness signs there. And yeah, it became more quiet, and there would be shelves that would end up being empty more. It was something didn't kind of felt right. So with that totally said, whatever led up and what caused Fry's Electronics to go out of business, it was taking root in last decade before 2020. So yeah, when Fry's Electronics went out of business in 2021 and then next year in 2022, I had a feeling that my Ryzen 7 build was going to break down on me. I took matters in my own hands and got the parts to put together my RTX 3070 Intel Core i7 build. That said, we're all going to miss Fry's Electronics, and I hope Micro Center stays strong and expands, and Micro Center can become the go-to tech enthusiast retailer that we're seeing right now. Because I'm glad to see Micro Center finally come back to life and resurrect. And yeah, it was great. But hopefully we could see some more stores open. But right now, my guess here is that Micro Center's doing their things strategically and carefully. We'll go with that. So that could be the case. So with that totally said, RAP Fry's Electronics. And yeah, that's all. And I will be looking forward to you in the next video. Peace out.